So I started reading the Bible. I decided to take it slow and easy. I started with 3 chapters a day. And it took me about a year and a half. First couple of chapters in, this is right when I had got my second apartment. And this dude moved in next to me. And this is right after I met Liam. And I was like getting nosy. I was thinking in a 1-bedroom. He moved into, I was in apartment A. He moved into apartment B. We were both on the bottom floor. We moved right across the street from a church. Right down the block from JJ's Fish and Chicken. 2 blocks from University, 2 blocks from Snelling. Right on Charles. Shout out Pastor Ike and his congregation. This dude was strange to me. I didn't understand. I got nosy and went up to the lookout on the door. There was a white girl and a black dude. They moved in next to me. It was weird because she had like sharp teeth. I was like, what is going on? And then he was like one of those old school pimps. Like, bro had a fur coat on. I'm like, from the fur trade. I guarantee it was back in the day. I bet he still has that mug too. Back in them French trade days. I didn't think nothing much of it. I mean, he drove a Saturn. Little 4-banger, like 1999. Little gray Saturn. So I'm like, okay, who's this dude? But he kept looking at me, looking at him. And he was walking by the door. I mean, obviously, he could have saw my feet or heard that I walked up to the door. But, like, he knew that I was watching him. I don't know, after some point, man, he's like, you ever see me out in my car? Just come hop in. We'd always smoke weed. I started smoking weed with him, like, all the time. Like, started chilling. I don't know, not too much long, but a little bit long. Shortly after he moved in, I guess, we started hanging out a lot. You know, I'd work, come home, chill. We'd smoke, play games. After some point, I had smoked my first blueberry yum yum with him. It was the blueberries weed. Like stuff Ludacris used to rap about. I ain't never had none like that because it tasted just like blueberries. It was like some real red light district. It's crazy. But after I went back in after that, he walked by me and he was like, we shared a connection. So I don't know what he put in that blunt or what was in the blunt or what kind of curse or spell he put on it. But I was reading the Bible the whole time. The whole time. While I was chilling with this guy. And I thought he was my friend. And at some point I thought he was my family. Because that's how I treat people. I treat people the way I want to be treated. I have a lot of love, a lot of character. I'm a little older now. It's not as much as I'd like to have as I used to because of all the betrayal I've had to endure in life. But I have a lot of practice. Still have a lot of love in me. A lot of life too. But I was building a relationship with God at the same time. My neighbor had moved in. Now, mind you, I'm not perfect, man. I'm far from it. I was going through some problems with my old lady. You know, I was trying to take care of my kids the best I could. You know, getting the rent paid on time, but drugs kind of became a thing. Like, you know, weed was always an okay thing. Like, I've always had no issues with weed. But, like, you know, I had other things I had never tried before come into my life that I had addictions for and towards. But, always to the grace of God, I've always been able to kick those. I never needed treatment. God was my treatment. The Holy Spirit was my treatment. Prayer was my treatment. I never needed to go ask somebody else for help. I've always had God in my life to help me. I've always had the Holy Spirit in my life. Or from that day forth, maybe when I opened up that book, you know, I started to read the Bible like the never-ending story, like that kid in the never-ending story. I took every word in, word for word, in amazement, in awe, in regard. I just believed it, I knew it, and then I started seeing it, started living it. God started showing me things through it, because of it. You know, you gotta hear the word, read the word, speak the word. Live the word, and you might just one day actually see the word. Blessed are those who have not seen me, yet still believe. Because I was like, who the ever-living F is Jesus? And I've heard of Jesus, but like in the Old Testament, I was like, who is Jesus? I was searching for Jesus in the Old Testament. He's right in the genealogy of Adam to Noah. Right in Genesis. It's at the walls of Jericho. He's with Abraham. He's with David. He's all throughout the Old Testament. But then again, I wouldn't know that because I was fresh and new and I wasn't going to church. I was going through the school of hard knocks when it came to biblical exposure. The Holy Spirit helped me. God helped me. Jesus helped me. I didn't go study. I didn't go ask a pastor or a preacher. Maybe a friend or two here and there. Tried asking questions. But I had to learn everything on my own. God threw me into the lion's den. And not only were there lions, there were wolves. And I came out of there without a scratch. Well, I got a few scratches. I ain't gonna lie. But for the most part, I wasn't dinner. And today I'm still a winner. And shortly after the blueberry yum yum thing, that's when things started to get weird with my neighbor. Now mind you, I'm building a relationship with God, so obviously I'm being kept safe. But whether I be in his car, he be in mine, he was always doing weird things with his hands. Like, he had an invisible bag, right? And he would take his hands or his fingers and dip it. Like, if you had a bag full of powder or sand, or like a fairy and had some dust. He would sit there and take his fingers and go into the bag and then sprinkle it on my floor. And he would do these weird, like, gang signs with his fingers all over my car, all over my floor. And he's not the only person I met that's done that. It's the strangest thing. It's weird. It's just, I was like, what are you doing? And then I would always mention God around him. Like, I would start preaching the Bible to him every time I was with this dude. Every single time. Because I had my own questions. I guess I had my own answers. So one day, after I was like, you know why Satan fell from heaven? He was like, you want to know why Satan really fell from heaven? I'll tell you why Satan fell from heaven. Because he told God that he could get just as much worship through music as God could through prayer. That's why Satan fell from heaven. And he said it with like straight conviction. It was like, you want to know why Satan fell from heaven? And it's kind of true, man. The way people worship these musicians, man. Fame is so overrated, man. These people are flawed, just like you. I mean, yeah, enjoy the joy they bring to you, man. But like, good God, why are you guys so hardcore with these musicians, man? I mean, look at how some of these people treat people. It's ridiculous. I mean, you've allowed Satan to, like, prove a point, but not to your own faults, I guess. Those who know ought not be doing what they do. But I guess the ones that don't know, it's not really their fault, is it? Some of them are really just being tricked and possessed. You know, there's, like, curses in these musics, man. You gotta, like, really pray. I listen to music, especially rap. Like, I've always wanted to be a rapper. You know, I enjoyed Eminem when I was growing up as a kid. I enjoyed, like, underground rap, De La Soul, Atmosphere, you know, stuff like that. I mean, there's other rappers and stuff like that, too. You know, and then, like, 50's movie came out, and then M's movie came out, or vice versa, or whatever. And I was really digging that. Like, 50 was one of my favorites because my best friend, the one who anointed my head with oil and baptized me, he looked just like 50 Cent. He was like a real big version of him. Shout out Mr. Baker, my dude. Really miss you. Wish things hadn't gone sour. You know, I wish when I had told him my story, he had believed. But he honestly chose not to. He was like, no. I was like, yeah. He's like, I don't believe you. I was like, damn, that hurt. You know, those closest to you, man, they hurt you the most. They were pretty bad. But we'll get into that later. This is part 2 of how many I can come out with. I hope I can change somebody's perspective. God bless, and I'll catch you next time.